4 wins and 1 losses. We actually had an amazing week trading. Those are the kind of weeks that we live for in trading, when you go and you hit 4 wins and you only hit 1 loss throughout the entire week. So guys, if you're struggling with trading, guys, stay locked in. I'm gonna break down every single trade that we took this week. I'm going to break down the wins, I'm gonna break down the losses as well, and more importantly, I'm gonna show you how you guys can catch these same exact trades that I'm catching and how you could trade with me. No, this wasn't lucky trades. No, this wasn't, oh, he had a good week. No, guys, we have been doing this back-to-back weeks. It just so happens that this week we had a very good percentage. It's not luck, it's strategy, discipline, and sticking to your rules. Every morning 9:30 a.m. I am on the charts, I am on the Discord, and I am live streaming our trades. If you're not in the Discord, I don't know what you're doing, guys. There's a free version and a paid version. So if you've hit TP, join the paid version. If you haven't hit TP, join the free version. We have both versions where I stream every day. Every day I live trade. You can see my exact same trades. You can see what I'm thinking, what I'm going through. Might as well just join and join like-minded people. Everybody's trading. That's all you had to say about it. Okay, so we're at over 80% win rate. You know, 4 wins, 1 losses. That's more than 80% win rate. So guys, nonetheless, I'm gonna break them down. We're gonna go day by day, and I'm gonna show you exactly how this works. All right, so let's start with Monday. It was a textbook setup on gold, XAU, USD. If you're more familiar with that term, we had clean market structure. And if you guys don't know how I trade the opening range breakout, also known as the orb. And basically, quick gist of it is I trade at 9:30 a.m. New York open. I wait for price to break out from either the top side or the bottom side. Then I wait for breakout structure. I wait for confluences. I wait for confirmation. I wait for the candle to tell me the story, and then I take my trade. So all my trades are always based on the breakouts during the 9:30 open. But first and foremost, guys, I only trade from 9:30 to 11:30. I give myself a 2-hour window to take a trade. If I don't have a trade in between that window, then I'm out the markets. Second thing to note, guys, I only take 101s. Right now, markets are very unstable. They're very inconsistent. Catching those long-term plays, catching those high R plays right now is not the move. It's just not working. So I prefer to take profits while I can. So I've been aiming for non-stop 101s. So I'll be posting a screenshot of the close profits, but it was 1,920 on Funded Pro account, and then another $1,000 on our Top Step account, right? Yes, we trade both. I trade them at the same time consistently. So guys, the profits all together. All right, now breaking down the charts. As you guys can see on the screen, are we good on screen? Yep, we're good on screen, right? First things first, guys, mark down your 9:30. I marked down my 9:30, and then I just marked down my highs and my lows. It doesn't have to be exact. So I just marked down my highs and my lows after I see the 9:30 open. So boom, mark this right here, and then I mark my high somewhere over here, and that's how she wrote. So now opening range breakouts, right? I have my range. It's already 9:30, so the market has opened. Now wait for my breakout, right? Now, first thing people will say is this is a fake out, right? Yes, it is a fake out, but nonetheless, it is still a breakout. You need to take that into consideration, right? So when I see a candle break out, leave a long wick, as you see down here in the bottom. You see the long wick being formed, and then you see automatically right next to it is a bullish candle, and then a strong engulfing bullish candle, engulfing because it took over the previous bearish candle, right? That's telling me that this was a fake out. So that's telling me already that, hey, today is buys. We need to wait for our buy and take buys. Okay, guys, so after it faked out, you see price start pushing toward the upside. Now, the only thing I did not like about this part right here was that there was no bearish candle, there was no retest, there was nothing, right? Price just automatically started putting up. So instead of just taking the entry, which you could have taken the entry right off the break here, I decided to wait for some structure to form, which is a retest back here, and then I entered the trade over here on this bullish candle, which was engulfing, like I said, the previous bearish candle, right? Took my buys. I aimed for a 101, 50 points for 50 points, and that's it. We were automatically straight into profit. There was no break even, there's no moving stop losses, there's no moving TPs. You aim for the 101, and that's all you are, right? So guys, this was Monday's trade 101. $3,000 made in both accounts. Like I said, guys, opening range breakout. All you do is you wait, mark up your range, mark up your bottom range, wait till you're open, and then you see which way it breaks out. After it breaks out, then you start looking for entries. Guys, I know I'm speaking very fast for the video. It's just to keep it down under a good time. We don't want the video to be too long, but guys, this is the opening range breakout. That's the strategy I use every day. That's the strategy that I teach in the Discord. That's the strategy that I'm making my course based on, right? So if you guys want a more detailed or more slower pace breakdown, guys, don't feel free to message me on Instagram and ask me any questions you have. Completely free. Don't sign up for nothing. Don't do nothing. Message me on Instagram, ask me whatever question you have, and I will answer when I have time, guys. So we're moving on. Now we're on to Tuesday. We have another $1,904 on Funded Pro, $1,000 on Top Step, and same thing, guys. It's the same strategy. I don't switch anything up. What you're hearing right now is what I do every single day, right? We have our 9:30 here open, right? 9:30, New York's open. Time to get into business, right? What do? I mark my highs, and then I mark my lows, and then what was it I said? I said wait for a breakout. I said wait for a breakout, right? So price automatically goes and breaks to the top side, right? Now that we have a break, now we know it's time to look for entries. Now the hard part is figuring out whether you're gonna buy or you're gonna sell, right? Of course that's the hard part, but here's where you gotta look into what type of candles you have forming, right? A lot of people will see this and be like, oh, price is super bullish, we can only take buys, right? That is the wrong way to think about it. Mind you, when I come into this market, I come into this market with no bias whatsoever. Whether that's a buy or a sell, it does not matter to me what price was doing before that. What matters to me is what price does after it breaks out from that range, right? I don't care if the daily is bullish. I don't care if the 4 hour is bearish. I don't care what's going on in those higher time frames, guys. I know this is going to sound controversial, and I know a lot of people are going to say, hey, how do you do this? But I do not do a top-down analysis. I stick to one time frame and one time frame only. Yes, I did used to do the top-down analysis back in the day, but now that I am scalping, I don't see no need for it. Instead, I think it's going to hurt me in the long run, because if I break down from the weekly to the daily to the 4 hour and the market is bullish, when I go down to my time frame, I'm gonna be looking for bullish plays, right? Just because that's what the higher time frames are telling me. But I'm in such a low time frame that for the next 30 40 candles, it could be bearish, but overall it will still be bullish, and I won't be able to catch those sells because I'm going into the markets with a bias of bullish thanks to the higher time frames. So guys, I've just completely stopped doing that. Now I just go to one time frame. On right now we are using the 2-minute time frame, and that's all. I break down on the 2-minute time frame, I take my entries on the 2-minute time frame, and then I move on. That's it. On this trade, like I said, it's very bullish, right? So when I see something this bullish where there's no good no good retest, right? You could consider this a little retest, but it's not big enough to make a very big move. A little retest to keep going up. Price needs to retest. Well, price needs to retest. Price needs a good retest. Your price can't just keep going up like that forever without having a good retest, right? So now I know I want to sell because I know price needs a retest. It needs to retest somewhere in these areas just to create a higher high, right? Yes, price is bullish. Yes, I do coming into this, I did think market was going to keep going higher, but I only need 50 points. I only need a 1-to-1, so I can catch the sell retesting, and that's exactly what we did here. So we marked it up, and here's our sell that we took. Now it might not be the prettiest sell, but hey, if it works, it works, right? I waited for a big bearish candle to come back into the range. Now remember, there's multiple ways you could trade this. You don't just have to trade one way, guys. You could put different aspects and different strategies into the opening range breakout, right? The orb strategy. So as soon as this broke back into the range, I knew, okay, hey, that's gonna be a sell. Now let me just wait for a bullish candle to retest, which it did right here with an ugly wick on both sides. And now I knew, boom, drop down a big old engulfing candle on the bearish side, took my trade, aim for 101, 50 points, 50 points. And guess what? I got wicked in right after I got in. That's 2-minute time frame, guys. So I was in this trade for 2 minutes, hit TP, wicked me into TP, boom, I'm hit, came right back and kept going up. Exactly how we expected, guys. I knew this wasn't going to be a big move into the downside. Why? Because we are bullish, but that doesn't mean we can't catch a sell. You know, guys, now we're on Wednesday. Now we're on Wednesday and I'm feeling good. We just won Monday, we won Tuesday, and guess what? I usually win in threes. So Wednesday, I already felt good coming into it. I was like, I know this is going to be a TP type of day. Let's see what happens, right? Nothing changes. You keep the same strategy. And a lot of people ask me this, a lot of students, a lot of people just trying to learn, come up to me and say, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that in trading? How do I discipline myself? Guys, you discipline yourself by doing the same exact thing every single day. If you change your strategy, if you change your approach, if you change anything in your trading strategy, it's hard to keep track and fix what's going on, right? You can't fix if you keep changing your strategy and changing things up, because now you don't know what's wrong. You don't know what was it that you changed that helped, that didn't help. So guys, you have to do the same exact thing day in, day out, day in, day out, until you have a good month, 2-month track record where you go back, analyze everything, and see what you're doing wrong. But so let's go jump into Wednesday here. Same thing, 9:30 open. We have it marked up. We're gonna mark our lows, and then we're gonna mark our highs, which we'll do somewhere up here. Right now, if you're asking me how do I mark them, guys, I just mark them by eyes. Right, what do I see? I see this is the low point of today. I see this was a significant push. It came down, came back to retest, and kept breaking down. Right, that's how I mark my highs and lows, where I see more areas on conflict. Boom. So we're here. Okay, so we're here now. I know I said breakouts, but guys, you got to take into account everything that happens here, right? So as you can see, price started pushing down right here. You see a consolidation starting to happen right here in this little area, right? That's something to take note of. Consolidation means, hey, something is going on in this area. It might not have been a breakout, because as you see, we have 1, 2, 3, 2.5, 3.5 wicks trying to break this area and was not able to break this area, right? So nonetheless, that is an area of interest. Then you see a huge bearish candle, right? Boom, there's a shift in the market now, right? As you can see, we were coming down, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, and out of nowhere we have a higher low, which was, or a higher low that we're supposed to make a lower low in, right? So now that's telling me, hey, now it's time, market is shifting, it's time to go bullish. But I don't enter off the first candle you see. You should never enter off the first candle you see, right? Wait, let market marinate, let it cook up, let the smoker chill for a little bit, and then you enter. So we entered the trade up here after price had already made a leg up to the upside. I think I can't remember if I waited for the bearish candle or if I entered right on the bullish candle, but nonetheless, guys, whichever one you entered at, they were still pretty good, because as you can see, there was a big old momentum shift right here. The momentum shift right here is from this downtrend. Boom. Oh, sorry, did not click on it. This downtrend, you see candle completely obliterated it, right? After where it should have been made a lower low, price is now pushing up in a strong bullish momentum. You can see those two candles alone have taken over from the bottom wick to the top wick right here. That's 70 points. And then from market down here over here, as you can see, price already obliterated the last couple candles. So we know we're bullish. And like I said, guys, it doesn't matter what happens afterwards. Look, big old dump afterwards, right? It doesn't matter. Why? Because we hit TP 101, 50 points for 50 points. Even if you're not catching the big move, which it's completely harder. It's way harder to hit the bigger moves. It's harder to hit the 1-10, the 1-20s, the 1-15s that people, you know, market like crazy. Those are hard to hit. You know how many things must go right for you to hit a 1-15? Just imagine how hard it is. 101s are easy. 101s, boom, you'll hit. Price does whatever it wants. If you guys are struggling in your trading and you're aiming for 1-10s, 1-13s, 1-15s, lower your R to R and see how much easier trades are easier to hit, right? 101 trades will hit consistently every day. You'll have a great win rate. A 1-15, you might get a full 1-15 hit once every 2 weeks or something like that. But if you're able to catch those consistently, yeah, you're an amazing trader. But just like it says, those 1-15s aren't that easy to catch. But here on Wednesday, so guys, honestly, boom, it was basically this one candle right here told me the entire story. And one thing I do like saying on Instagram and to the students and to everybody that asks me questions is the candles tell the story, right? One candle can tell you a complete story of where market is going to shift. And that's exactly what happened here. As soon as I saw that bullish candle, I already knew where we were going. I knew what trade I was looking for, and that's it. Now we're on to Thursday, and Thursday was our first loss. Now, yes, it sucks, but hey, it happens, right? I am prepared for this. And anybody that tells you they have 100% win rate, they don't lose trades, that is your time, that is your chance to completely ignore them and block them. Guys, I teach real trading. I don't teach marketing. I don't do none of that. Yes, I do have, you know, my stuff that I do sell, my Discord subscription, my course that I'm working on, I do sell it. But guys, nonetheless, I make my money from trading. I'm a day trader first, and then I am a teacher slash mentor slash whatever you want to call it second, right? This is what I do every morning. This is what I do as a job. This is what I've done full time for 7 years now. Okay, so we come to this 9:30, we take losses. It happens, so long as it's a good loss. There's a difference between a bad loss and a good loss. A good loss is a loss that you've already accounted for, that you followed your plan, but guess what, markets just didn't go your way, and it happens. A bad loss is when you move your stop loss, when you move your TP, when you over leverage and you're risking more than you know you should be, and now you completely, you know, either blowing your account or taking a way bigger loss than you should have, because now you're messing up your R to R for the week, right? because that one loss might have cost you 3 wins. Now you're really down bad. But anyways, let's get into it. Okay, so we marked up 930. We have our lows to set right here. We have our highs. We'll set it up here because I don't want to go too far high. So boom, we have our highs right there. Price broke to the top side, and as I'm looking at this, I'm trying to think back to it, guys. This was last week, so I'm also trying to think back into it. As you can see, price is moving up, bullish. I believe I was trying to catch the retest. Okay, guys, so I think I took the sell somewhere up here, and the reason I took the sell was after this retest, price came up, price retested, price came up again, price retested right here. But what I didn't like about this towards the bullish side was the gap between here and here was not that big, right? So I thought price was starting to get exhausted right here, right? Boom, we're moving up here. I'm guessing price was getting exhausted. I looked at this big wick that was left over here, and I was like, okay, the next candle is gonna fill this in. We're gonna be halfway through this candle right here, and then if price is able to come down here, I'm in the clear for TP, right? That was my idea on this trade. Still had a little bit more gas left in it. I could tell already that price was getting exhausted. Price went up, and I think it barely touched it. Yeah, see, you can see my stop loss was there. It barely touched it, but because of the spread, I think honestly, I don't think it was supposed to hit my stop loss, but because of spread, it did end up getting tapped, and price did end up coming down to TP eventually. If I would have held it, which I probably would have, but it's just one of those things that happen in trading that you can't do nothing about. I could cry about it, I could whatever, but it's not going to change the results, right? The spread, everybody, account for spread. It is what it is. It's one of those things in trading that we hate. Price never really touched my stop loss, but whatever, it is what it is. We'll chop it up as a loss. We lost $2,000 on that trade. Well, 1,984 on Funded Pro. And my analysis wasn't really completely wrong. I actually liked the analysis. Price did end up coming back down and hitting TP. So even though it was a loss, I'm still chopping that up as a win because my analysis was still right. Spread stopped me out, and I followed my rules. I followed my strategy. I got out after one loss, and that's how she rolled, guys. I'll come back on the next day and see what happens. All right, guys, we're on the last day. We're on the Friday, but before I give you the Friday breakdown, guys, let me plug a little bit. I've been giving you a lot of knowledge these last 4 days. Let me plug in one more time. The Discord, guys. The Discord is the only service that I'm providing at this very moment, both free and paid versions. The free versions, guys, you can go in there, chat with me. You can see some breakdowns, you can see all that stuff. The premium version, guys, you're allowed to trade with me. I go on stage, I trade every morning. You can copy my trades, you can talk to me, you can ask me questions. Doesn't mean the free guys don't. I'm always in the Discord with the free guys. We're just in there gaming, talking charts, answering questions, all that good stuff, right? That is the only service I'm providing right now, guys. The course is in the works, but it's taking me a little bit longer because I want to do this one time and I want to do it right. So that's going to be maybe sometime next month I will release that, but that's going to be everything for myself. Okay, guys, make sure you follow me on Instagram, and let's do this last day. All right, so we're all back over here. Now we're Friday. We're on the last day of the week. I'm feeling good. We're 3-1. We just had a loss on Thursday, but it was a good loss. So same thing. We don't switch anything up, guys. Same thing day in, day out. We go into Friday, right? Friday, we obviously see our lows down here, and then we see our highs. I'll mark the highs. I'll mark it over here. Boom. And I'm doing like that because that's where you see this area of interest over here. The bottom, obviously, you can see is the floor. Price broke to the top side, right? And then, like I said, guys, the candles tell the story. Where is it? The candles tell a story. Look for the candles. See how the candles form. See how the candles close. Look at their wicks. The one candle alone will tell you the story. Obviously, the story here is this huge bearish candle. This candle automatically took out 2 candles right after the breakout. That just happened to us earlier in the week. When a candle breaks out like that and then the next candle just completely obliterates it, it is a fake out. So boom. Oh, fake out. And a lot of people that trade the opening range breakout think that, hey, if it breaks to the top side, we can only take buys. If it breaks down to the downside, we can only take sells. That is completely false. That's not how it works. Yes, there are times where it breaks to the top side and we are going to take buys, but that doesn't mean you can't do the opposite. It doesn't mean if it breaks to the top side, doesn't mean it's not a fake out. You need to be prepared for both. So right here we have a fake out, and as you can see, this big old candle, bearish candle, just overtaking, just sells me more. As soon as it enters back into the range, hey, I know, hey, we're definitely in for sales today, right? We just got to find our entry. For this trade, I think I ended up taking the sell somewhere over here in this area. I'm not sure exactly which candle, but somewhere in this area. and pretty much easy, guys. Like I said, as soon as I came back into the range, as you can see, it broke down it back into the range, but those candles are too big for me. I don't like taking it like that. I like taking it, wait for the retest. Let's see where the candles form. Came back, and then it came back into the range again. I took my sells 5 to 5, 1 to 1 RR, and TP was hit. And that's how we ended the week. 4 wins, 1 losses. Beautiful, amazing week. We did the same strategy all week long. The opening range breakout, the orb, the ORB, however you want to say it, guys. That's all I use. That's all I teach. And that's how she roll, guys. I hope you guys like the analysis. I know it's fast, but I'm trying to keep the video short. We don't want it too long. Then people drop down. They don't want to watch the whole thing. So we'll keep it short. If you guys want longer videos, let me know in the comments. Hey, I'll listen to an hour breakdown, because I can make this an hour breakdown if I go candle by candle and just give you the thought process of me, what I was thinking, what I was feeling, and stuff like that. But I try to keep it short for the YouTube. But guys, I always look at the comments, drop down any videos that you'd like me to explain, anything that I wasn't clear on and you guys would not want to know more on, leave it in the comments. Any questions, any future trade ideas, just let me know in the comments. I'll answer back all of them. And like I said earlier, guys, the Discord, I would leave in the link in the description below. Join the free one, see how you like it. There's a trial, 3-day free trial for the premium one. Try it out. If you like it, hey, they'll charge you. If you don't like it, cancel. No, my feelings won't be hurt. You can still be in the free one, and we can still chat. See you guys on the next one.